Welcome, friends and family. So excited to be here with you today at our Elevate studio. And I'm going to remind everybody, our Elevate is a faith-led coaching and mentorship program with an emphasis on leadership. And today, we're going to talk about leadership. Today, this is definitely one of my favorite subjects is leadership. Been studying it for a long time, thanks to John Maxwell. I have a definition of what leadership is. John says leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So what is influence? Influence is the ability to move people in a direction that is hopefully good for them. Although we all know there's leaders out there, just throw an example out, Hitler. He definitely influenced a group of people, but he didn't do it in a good direction. So influence is the ability to influence people in the direction you want them to go. Hopefully you keep an eye on who your leaders are. Hopefully your leaders are influencing in a direction that's healthy and helpful to all those they serve, not just to one or two people. All right, folks, I'm thinking back in my probably mid-20s. I had an opportunity to work as a youth pastor at a really phenomenal church. And while I was there, when I first started there, they had a pretty good youth group there of all ages. And they invited me to oversee the whole program. Well, I had a vision. I had a vision to go out into the highways and the byways and compel folks to come to church, especially youth. And we did that through a bus ministry. And in a very short time, we began to grow this youth ministry to nearly 100 kids in our youth program. And a lot of people in the church got behind it. They began to rally for it. It was so fun, and like so many good memories of getting in buses and driving into mobile home parks and to Craig Rock and to different areas and just picking up buses of kids and taking them to church and then bringing them back home. We were doing that on Sundays and Wednesdays and doing youth events, taking them out to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, doing all kind of fun things with these kids. Not right or wrong. There was a group of folks there that did not agree with that. They thought the job of the youth pastor was to come in and teach their kids the biblical truths of the Bible and to educate and really care for their children, not to bring new people in, but to take care of the ones that were already there. That was a tough position to be in because, as a parent, I can understand where they're coming from. But at that day, there was a divide. And that divide, unfortunately, did not get fixed. It got bigger over time. And within a short time, it got pretty bad. And I'll never forget the pastor of the church, the leader of the church, he came to me and he said, Elijah, here's what I do in these situations. When two people are in a church and they're not seeing eye to eye, they're starting to argue, he said, I just stay out of the way and I let them fight it out. Now, looking back, I don't think that was the best advice. Because shortly after that, as bad as I hated to, I resigned. Within a few months after that, the people that didn't like what we were doing there resigned. They left. So now you had both parties that left that church. And I look back and I think it had a lot to do with the leader not making a decisive decision, not having a decisive vision. How about you? Maybe you've been in these situations before, where one day your leader comes in and he has a vision and we're going to do this and we're going to do this and you kind of get on board and you start heading in that direction. Then 2 or 3 days later, next week, hey, we're doing this. And we get excited about a whole new idea. And that just kind of feels like a yo-yo. One day you're doing this, the next day you're doing that. Again, we need a vision. Without a vision, my people perish. What about situations where maybe you have a parent who is having a tough time making a call, maybe a sibling or siblings that are taking advantage of them, and you can see it, and it hurts you to watch this. But unfortunately, the parent doesn't have the strong enough vision to stop that from happening. See, the Bible makes this real clear. Without a vision, my people perish. We perish for lack of vision. Vision is one of the greatest gifts that you can ever have. A vision will keep you going through tough days, get you going when days when you don't feel like going. We have to have a vision for our lives. And I really believe we need a vision for every area of our life, whether it be in our home life, our career life, our spiritual life, our physical life, our financial life. We need a vision for these areas of our life, because if we are not aiming for nothing, well then guess what? We're going to hit that every time. So you need to have something, that a vision, a purpose, something you're aiming for. What is what makes for a good vision? I think a good vision should be in the future, not, it's where you're going. It's the direction you're heading. I want to talk to you a lot more about vision, because I think this is a word that in the leadership world, we just kind of throw it around. But to have a vision is so important. I can tell you this, we have a vision for our Elevate real estate community, and that is for us to host 700 to 1,000 well cared for, trained, and equipped team members within our Elevate community. Now, we know that that could look like lenders. We know that can look like agents, operational staff. We know that that could even be some construction work. But at the end of the day, that's what we're aiming for. So we build from here our very, like you look at 𝐲𝐽𝐻. This guy started with a truck and one man, but a man that had a vision that he could go on and do some amazing things. And now there's a whole, 𝐲𝐽𝐻 is one of the largest outfits, trucking outfits in the United States, for sure in Tennessee. So it took a vision to get to where he was. But I guarantee you, he woke up with a bigger vision than just him in that truck. So it's got to start somewhere. A vision's got to start somewhere. But from there it can grow. So it should be in the future, should be, people would say anywhere from 2 to 10 years out. I want to encourage you today. I want to challenge you today. If you're walking around in a fog, maybe you're feeling a little depressed, then I know that this works for me. I start thinking about the future. I don't look at the things behind. I don't beat myself up for what I did or didn't do yesterday, or even pat myself on the back too much. I press forward to the vision, to the purpose, what I'm going after. And so I want to encourage you, get a vision. Find out what it is, and how do you get a vision? There's a lot that goes into this. So we're just going to do a series on that word. I was going to do a series on MVP, mission, vision, purpose. We should all have these things. We should wake up every day with a mission, we should have a vision, and we should have a purpose for why we do what we do. But we're going to stay on this word vision a little longer, because again, I feel like in leadership roles, we throw these words around, but we don't really break them down. So we're going to take a little more time to break them down. But vision will give you direction. Vision will get you out of bed on days when you don't feel like getting out of bed. Vision will get you through some tough times in your life when it feels like throwing in the towel. But you have a vision. You're going somewhere. You have a purpose. You walk a little faster. You think a little sharper because you're going somewhere. So I want to challenge you. Pray about it. That's a good place to start if you don't have a vision for your life, or you're feeling a little foggy or depressed. Pray, ask the Lord. That's what I would recommend. And then start figuring out what that looks like. And again, I think we need to have a vision for all parts of our life, not just one. I hope this adds some value to you. If it does, please like and share. And anytime we can do anything for you here at Elevate Real Estate, give us a call, 931-283-2312. Thank you.